And so from what I see is, I look at this, watch the Suspicious Observers. Then you see something from the Lost History channel, like the Lost Knowledge. Then you watch these plasma bolt guys with this Thunderbolts project and what they're doing, and showing with a plasma cutter table. They put earth in there and dirt in there, and then they hit it, and it looks just like the Grand Canyon, the Marianas Trench. They did it on wet wood. One of those pics is wet wood burnt from a plasma cutter, and you take that and you can overlay it, and that's what happened. Floods, that's great, but something zapped this planet. If you look at the Grand Canyon on that map, if you look at the Grand Canyon, Death Valley, and it spirals out, massive, hard to kind of grasp when it goes down Mexican coast and up through Alaska. But it's that spiral, the same spirals you see on Mars, the same spirals that you see when you do the plasma cutter onto the wood or the clay or dirt. It's the same. So this shite that they keep telling you and driving you apart is what I see. They know this. They know that the sun's about to have an interaction. We're coming into a grand solar maximum where these interactions are a little more likely to happen. With that, when I talk about the sun goes off, communications go down, and you are settled in where you're at. Explorers might be out there exploring, but settlers settled in. They've been being programmed. You're locked down. Make sure you got a bunch of guns. Make sure you got a bunch of food. Don't forget your religious beliefs. Wherever you may live in the country, make sure you stick by those so that you can hate the other ones that don't understand it the same way you do. Read that Bible a little bit differently. Read that Bhagavad Gita a little bit differently. Wants to be a little bit different. But the last time, they wiped out all the people with that kind of knowledge so that we could live here and do this time. But they brought in the Prussian school system to make sure we kept everybody subdued. Read, repeat, head down, mouth shut. You're going to be a good little civilian. So, sun takes out the communications. Now you're sitting here. Nothing's going on. Who are you going to depend on to come around? Well, I imagine the National Guard will come around first. They'll be on megaphones. They'll be telling everybody. Most cities have built in all the speakers. You walk around and they're playing music and you're thinking, oh, that's so nice. Yep, it's nice when they play music. It's not so nice when they tell you, no beret, black boot, left foot, running shoe, right foot, no bottoms. You choose the top. You're not gonna know. They'll come around and tell you. So I bring up that missile guy, the guy fear-mongering a missile. And I'm gonna go look. I'm not gonna discount it, but I'm not banking on it either. I mean, because learning a little bit about volcanoes and the sprites from, the Suspicious Observers that talks about how there's an electrical interaction that can be seen before earthquakes, before volcanoes, and we've caught them. We know them. We know it's a real thing. So now they're looking for it more. NASA's looking for it more. This guy's looking for it more. Everybody kind of that knows about these things is kind of looking for it more. These increases. So at the same time, you have these bursts, these plasma bursts that come through. People go, well, what does that mean? We have no idea it just comes. It's just random Russian roulette fires through the galaxy. I guess we've seen some. There's pictures supposedly, but to be able to say that, oh yeah, we saw it. It's heading this way. Get ready. And here's a picture of the plasma impact through science, looking at the little spherules on the bones that were in the area from woolly mammoths, to be able to tell that there were certain metals there. And then when we know that there's certain metals on other things, or the chemical makeup, or the makeup of the plasma, and then we find these markers. It's no different than finding markers of that xenon on Mars. That's only a byproduct of nuclear blast, supposedly. That's what we hear. Same as in India. Touching back to the whole Death Valley, spiral out from there, that's a plasma bolt spot. Grand Canyon carved, that's a plasma bolt spot. You go over to Africa, you have the Dead Sea. Look at the Dead Sea, you have a spot that goes out. Seems like there's an awful lot of places on the planet that are nicknamed dead, where nothing grows, nothing's there. or it is difficult for things to grow there. And it's there because it got zapped. It got zapped. The magnetic field of the planet weakens. The L's start to shift. And when that happens and the sun pops off, that discharge is going to freaking light up just like this plasma ball here. But we're in the middle. We're the Earth. We're in the Earth. Or we're in the middle of that plasma ball, and we're going to be the ones watching and experience this, just like they did in the past. And they wrote it down. They tried. Because if we're not worried about what our kids are going to grow up in, then what's the point? We keep putting them through a school system that we tout as the greatest, but then we're not taught things like this. We're taught that they were cavemen that didn't know what they were doing. But then we look back farther and we see this civilization that we don't understand how it was there. We don't understand. That's what we're told. We don't understand. We couldn't possibly have done that. Well, it might be true, but we'll never know until we're shown what they know. And a lot of that is these cyclical changes that take place on the planet come whether you like it or not. And if you don't tell your children about it, that plasma bolt comes, takes out the communication. The sun goes off, takes out communication. And it's the sun that's doing it. But if you don't have any idea that it's the sun doing it, and they come around and tell you that, hey, they just attacked. Well, who just attacked? Whoever it happens to be that they've already imprinted into your head, you'll believe it. All those booms you keep hearing around the planet, boom, keep hearing booms, what is that from? Well, it's not gonna be long when you don't have any way to ask that question in a public realm of the social media or whatnot, to be able to know what that boom was. And if you don't have a way to know that, and you don't know other things that cause those booms, they can come and tell you whatever it is. And the perception that you'll take from whatever it is that they're trying to make you perceive, you've already been programmed to bite down, hook, line, and sinker. You're gonna bite into it, hook, line, and sinker, and fight with each other, and they're just gonna keep laughing at you. But we have too much pride, so we wanna win that fight. Doesn't matter if it's against our fellow American. Nobody wins, man. Nobody wins. And you watch, just keep that in the back of your mind. Because I do kind of enjoy the fact that I do see stuff and I might jumble it up and I might be goofy or it might sound goofy, but I really do. I try not to make a judgment on things that I don't have enough information about. And right now we were programmed through the Prussian system to give just enough information that you don't ask questions, that you think that you know it all. Now, if I'm wrong on that, look around the room you're in. Look around the store you're in. Go up to someone, not to go up to someone, just ask. I mean, just think of these people or pay attention. How often will they admit that they are wrong or that they, whatever I just said that I forgot. Yeah, like that right there. That right there is an implant to create all of the stigma, it's an implant. That is an implanted thing to get us through this point. Because when this does happen and they shut down the communications, you settlers are gonna stay here. You're gonna stay here and you're gonna believe everything that they come around and tell you. And then what? I'm out. That's a situation when it does come, when that time arrives, that if you're settled in and your family and everything's here, that's great. I hope that all of the other families all get along as well with all your different families, because now you don't have any reason to fight anybody else. Why are you going to fight everybody around you? Because you're scared, because you didn't get enough information going through these school systems. And now with that, on the gemstones, it's funny because on the gemstones there's a little scene where they're going up to this house and they're out in the sticks of West Virginia, and they said something about, well, you're gonna have to fight them, and they were like, well, how do you know they'll fight? And they go, oh, they're poor, they're gonna fight. Man, those with money saying the line, they're poor, they're gonna fight. That's their whole motive. Everyone that thinks you're rich, everybody that thinks you're doing great. You're not. Man, you're probably in more debt than most people. And you pay on it, but you got to keep doing what they say in order to have what they say makes you happy. And you get sprinkle in a couple vacations, you sprinkle in a couple football games like the Gladiators and the Coliseums. You know, it's all out there for us to see and put together, but we want to just fight with each other or just make fun of each other. I mean, I like making fun, but usually myself. That's about it. It's that pride thing. Well, for myself today, again, it's just a normal. This is the first Monday going into a full swing of the tax seasons for these next 4 months, just like last year, which was an adjustment. But this year, 4 months, my time and Ju's time is dedicated to her pursuit. And then after April, that's when I get to, we will get to start our new direction in life, which is mostly going to be talking about epilepsy and the relationship, the epileptic couple and their relationship and the journey that we've taken to get here, to be happy and feel love. You're all going to crave it. You're all going to crave it soon enough. I know it's not all doom and gloom, but things are going to happen. And I would much rather be around people, humans, that understand why it's happening instead of standing around going, we need to get out of here because there's some sketchy stuff. These people are out of their minds. They bought in hook, line, and sinker to that dummy box, and there's no other way. You can't show people that are that locked in anything at all. So be careful out there. See who it is that you're, just be careful. Feel people out when you run into them, especially after all the communication goes down. It's going to be a whole new world for a lot of people trying to refigure out how to communicate with each other when you don't have that. It's kind of my point, I guess. Everybody, have a wonderful day, safe travels, and I'll see you tomorrow.